Not all curiosity needs to be explored. Ethan had always been fascinated by the dark and mysterious side of cultures around the world. Ghost stories, urban legends, cursed rituals, he devoured them all with a skeptic's amusement. He thought of himself as a collector of spooky experiences, but never a true believer. When he finally booked a trip to Japan, he wasn't thinking about cherry blossoms or shrines. He wanted to explore the country's haunted places, the ones whispered about in late-night forums and YouTube deep dives. Among the many stories he researched, one stood out: Kuchisake-onna, the slit-mouthed woman. According to legend, she appears at night wearing a surgical mask, asking, "Am I pretty?" Answering yes might save you, but sometimes she still kills you. Answering no guarantees a violent death. There was a ritual, he read, to summon her spirit: walk alone at night, carry candy or small offerings, and whisper her name 3 times at certain crossroads. Ethan found it laughable. It's just another urban myth, he told himself, grinning as he read the instructions aloud in his cramped Airbnb in Kyoto. On the 3rd night, he decided to try it. He packed some caramel candies, slipped on a hoodie, and set out after midnight. The streets were empty, lit only by scattered street lamps and the occasional vending machine glow. When he reached a narrow intersection lined with old wooden houses, he felt a chill crawl up his spine. He hesitated. The silence was so deep he could hear the hum of a distant train echoing off the walls. Kuchisake-onna. 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 At first, nothing happened. He scoffed and took out his phone to record a mocking video for his friends. But then he heard soft footsteps behind him. He turned. There, under the dim light, stood a woman wearing a long coat and a white surgical mask. Her hair fell over her face like a curtain and her head tilted slightly as if she were studying him. Ethan felt his throat tighten. He forced a laugh, expecting her to be a random passerby. "Am I pretty?" she asked, her voice muffled and eerily melodic. Ethan's hand trembled around his phone. This is a prank, he told himself. Someone must have seen his posts online. "Why, yeah, you're pretty," he stammered. She tilted her head further and reached up to her mask. Slowly, she slid it down. Underneath was a grotesque, gaping wound that split her mouth from ear to ear, her teeth jagged and rotting. "How about now?" she crooned. Ethan dropped his phone. The candies fell from his pocket, scattering across the ground. He turned to run but felt a sudden gust of cold air behind him. He stumbled and fell hard on the asphalt. Her face was now inches from his, her breath foul and hot against his cheek. Her eyes, dark and bottomless, burned into his soul. "You wanted to see me. So here I am," she hissed. Ethan screamed, but the sound seemed to be swallowed by the night itself. In an instant, she was gone. When he came to, he was lying alone in the middle of the street, his phone cracked and the candies gone. He scrambled to his feet and sprinted back to his Airbnb, heart pounding so hard he thought it might burst. That night, he locked every door and window, shaking until dawn. He flew back home the next day, pale and haunted. He deleted every video and forum post about Japanese ghosts. Ethan had always believed that curiosity was a harmless thrill, a game for skeptics to mock. But now every night he checks the shadows of his room before sleeping, terrified of the faintest whisper. Because he finally learned the hard way, not all curiosity needs to be explored.